I realized this morning that although people can go listen on the Energy is Love podcast website, energyislovepodcast.com, it's not the greatest place, obviously, to listen.
It only goes back how far?
I don't know. Not all episodes technically show up on the website. You have to go to some other platform. And I could probably fix that if I really wanted to.
Yeah, there's enough places.
There is enough places to go and listen, and you should do that. Go to YouTube, and you can listen to every freaking episode on YouTube, on our YouTube channel. They're all there, and they're all amazing. All 100 and something of them.
Give us a like.
Yeah. A thumbs up and subscribe.
Yeah.
Go to the Facebook page where we post every week once a new episode is released, which is every Monday. We are coming to you live, except it's not live. It's every Monday, and you're welcome. EnergiesLovePodcast.com. Find all the information there. Quick shout out once again. As always, Every Man has been such a huge part of my life over the past few years, and I always like promoting them and pushing them in any way, shape, or form. So that's why you get to hear about it at the beginning of episodes every now and then. But go to let's try again. Go to EVRYMAN, their website, everyman.com, and check out what they're doing. They're transitioning quite a bit from in-person events, which was a big component of their work, to all online kind of global calls that they are now doing, and they're pretty powerful. You can find more information at their website. Sign up for their newsletter. They're literally like every day they're coming out with new stuff, and they're rolling out new ways for men to connect across the globe. And they're not done yet. I know they have a lot more offerings that they're a lot of more offerings that they're going to be supplying. So
that's Steph talk.
That is Steph talk. But yeah, go sign up for their newsletter, and that's the easiest way to find and keep up to date. And also follow them on social. They're pretty active on Instagram, and they post a lot of not just useful information, but also information about what they're doing and how you can get connected if you are a man out there in the universe. Episode 186, screaming out 18. Oh, is it 186?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, episode 186 for this. Why did you give me that look?
Because I thought I was sure until you asked me, and then I was like, oh shit. All my surety just went out my sure hole.
Episode 186. This will be an episode where Stephanie and I recount all of our favorite Corona memes and what we
I knew
find
I should have been
funny
taking pictures. God damn it.
in regards to all the different things that are.
You stop talking. You did it.
So it's going to be a great episode, folks. Sit back and relax. Turn it up wherever you're at. And good luck, because here we go.
You're listening to the Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is the Love podcast.
The Energy is Love podcast.
Energy is love.
The Energy is Love podcast.
The podcast for the universe.
The Energy is Love podcast.
I almost went backwards. I am hanging onto this bed like a bat.
Oh, did you almost tip over?
Yes, I've got my toes on the bed frame, and they're my grippy. So I'm like literally hanging on like a bat. I'm like, oh.
That would have been so funny, baby.
During your...
That would have... I would have left that in.
You would have left.
Because we would have been recording, and all people would have heard was... and then me laughing.
I'd have probably farted. It would have been a whole thing. So.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Real quick, before we forget.
Are we going to do it right off the bat?
Yeah, because we will forget.
We know. I don't think we'll forget. It has been on my mind.
It's on my list. Has it been on your mind?
I saw it on your list. I'm like, thank God, because we have to explain ourselves.
I don't think we do.
We got to explain ourselves.
I think there's enough of an explanation in the current state of affairs.
Extreme stress.
So
extremes.
Last week's episode, we talked about quite a few things on the episode. And one of the things that we talked about was Jeff Bezos, who is the founder of Amazon. And One of the things that we mentioned was his net worth, which is $111 billion. And we talked about how there are 7 billion people on the planet.
Our math skills said, wow, look at all that possibility.
And so then because we are both Grantsville.
No, it's stress.
Okay.
It is stress. I feel like on a day-to-day basis before pandemics, we survived this long, which means we have a few brain cells.
We would have figured it out.
The last episode we get, it's a pan excuse. Not a pandemic. We get a pan excuse.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll call it that.
Yes.
So what in our heads, it made sense that somehow Jeff Bezos could give us all $1 billion and still have a whole bunch of money left over to himself.
At the time.
Obviously, that math isn't correct, and we realized it after the fact. So if you listen to that and you scratched your head thinking these people are idiots and don't know what the hell they're talking about, you're right.
That was true at the time.
In the moment, we were very much more than idiots. And we didn't know what we were talking about. We have since realized that Jeff Bezos cannot give every person on the planet $1 billion and then still have billions left over to himself.
He could give us $1 billion, though, and I would put it towards a math tutor. Because if you remember, I was begging for help for that in the last episode as well. So
he could give all of us $1 and still have billions left over. He could give all of us maybe $10.
No, we're not going to do this.
What if
we're
Jeff
not
Bezos gave us all $100?
No. We are just going to tap out and say we're going to leave the math to the mathletes.
Yeah.
All right?
So,
you people are the true heroes.
That's a correction from last week's episode. It's like the Dax's show, Armchair Expert.
Oh, my God.
Where they do fact checks.
Checks.
Yeah, that was a fact checked a week later. Turns out.
We fact checked it the next day. Because we were talking about it, we're like, that's not right. And then you chose, because we are an honest, even in our brilliance and honest podcast, you chose to not take it out. Even though I was like, oh my God, you got to take that out. And you're like, nope, it stays in. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what it is. So we could have taken it out and decided
I could have edited that out, but it was already
gold.
uploaded and ready to be released by the time we realized it.
Was it uploaded? So it was just pure laziness. I thought you were taking an honesty stance.
It would have been a pain in the butt to go back and edit that part out. We talked about Jeff Bezos for quite a while.
You'd have been fine.
Yeah. But no, we're here.
We're here.
In the Salazar bunker. Day 28 of, I don't know what day it is.
I don't either.
It's like week 2 for us, kind of.
I don't have concept of time anymore. I've begun licking the walls. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I don't know what day it is.
I just read this email from
it?
A man that I really love, really respect. He's a really, really amazing guy. And in the email, he talked about how he kind of had a week of panic and shit show and chaos and crumble, and now he's back on top of his shit, right? Back on top of being able to...
An adjustment period.
Right?
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, of course.
Tomorrow's going to be great.
Our adjustment period seems to be lasting longer than a week. And my personal adjustment period seems to fluctuate hourly, almost. Right before we recorded, you asked me, was there something out there?
Ooh.
Okay. Right before we recorded, you asked me if I was upset with you. And I'm not. But I realized as I was setting up all the gear, I'm like angry and I'm grumpy and I'm irritable. And it's 9:30 in the morning. Nothing has happened. Like that constant state of just like, like I feel like I've been walking through, some crowded, like
airport.
And I'm just like, don't like people and I'm grumpy. I have that kind of constant state periodically flowing into my space.
I can't relate. I have not had any grumpy moments. So I don't know what's wrong with you.
I wish we could talk about other things.
Oh, okay.
But like this is all that it is right now. And it's so frustrating. It's like I'm getting pissed off at it. I want to talk about what...
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
get a little ramped up before we get into, because I'm about to get into some serious stuff.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if I want to yet.
Okay. If you don't want to, I've got things. I can come in with my things.
I think you just said okay 14 times.
I think probably. I'm not sure where we're going. I'm just like, I'm assessing the situation. Yeah, the situation.
You're
I'm
watching
like, okay, what are we doing?
What's the train wreck going to do over there?
It's not what
Everybody
I'm
pay attention
thinking.
for a minute. The situation, you just referred to me as the situation.
I did refer to you as a situation, but that's also a compliment. Like,
Yeah.
you're the situation.
What
It wasn't a compliment.
what show was that?
I don't know.
I think it was the Jersey Shore. Jersey Shores. Jersey Shore.
The Jersey. I did not watch the Jersey Shore.
Neither did I.
Then how are you familiar with quotes? Apparently, I am too. It's in my subconscious.
There
I
was
guess.
a character on there who called himself the situation, I think. Some super douchey, sexy guy that thought he was the shit.
Well, I meant to situation like, oh my gosh, I just, I forgot the abbreviation. Holy fuck. I am certified out the wazoo. And I cannot remember what the fuck the 3 little letters are. Moving on. I'm a situation too. Let's go.
So that's another thing that's
Carry
on
on,
my
folks.
list of things to talk about is our...
Where'd our brains go?
Yeah.
Where'd they go?
In the current state of affairs with everything that's been going on, Stephanie and I have noticed that we cannot hold on to information inside of our heads for very long. And by very long, we mean oftentimes...
3 seconds.
Yeah.
That's fucking it. Sorry.
Where it's like... I was saying, like that thing, all those funny things where you're like, oh, you walk into the room and you forget why you came in there. I don't even like remember to walk into the room. It's like, what was I thinking? And then immediately I'm like, right now I'm thinking about brushing my teeth, and that'll be gone in 3.5 seconds. And
We can't do it right now, so.
yeah, what do you think is the reason for that?
Oh, sweetheart. Welcome to the world of chronic stress. Well, I'm your leader. It's stress. It's fucking stress. This is like
You just think it's just straight
it's
up?
stress. It is. And it's not like normal stress, obviously. This is a fucking stress. This is a stress where you are afraid for your future, your life, your loved ones, everything. Like, I know how to live in this stress. I just don't have a lot of practice anymore. So your brain is really fucked in these times. Because it's like everything goes to, there's not a lot of future planning. That's why I think you can't really retain a lot, because everything's in the moment. When you can get present, it feels good, don't it?
Yeah, we should do that, right?
Did you hear my donut?
I did. You know, that
You didn't
immediately
even
makes,
catch my laugh.
it immediately makes me think about donuts.
Oh, okay.
And I
Well,
wanna
there's
go
that
get
too.
some.
I was trying to get a laugh. I'm like, oops.
I'll put a laugh track in.
Thank you. Oh my God, can you do that? That would boost my ego so much. I'll be like, I want the button for the laugh track so I can push it every time I say something funny.
Yes.
So I get that because you miss my jokes.
I'll get you. I'm sure there's an app. Where,
I want that.
Yeah.
I'm going to walk around with that and just say stuff and like, oh. And I want applause.
Yeah.
Can I get one with an applause too? Like,
Yeah.
yay, Steph, good job. Okay, so we figured out how to boost our egos during this time.
So it's just chronic stress.
It's chronic stress. So you're just like, what do I need to do in this moment? What
Can't
is
remember
important
anything.
at this moment? And once that moment is done, okay, on to the next. It's a Bartlett, what's next?
I realized not recently, this was probably a few days ago, I wasn't driving as well as I normally do. So it was like affecting the way that I drive. Because my brain was like all over the place.
I told you it's affecting people's driving.
Yeah.
I didn't think it affected yours.
Well, it didn't.
I like how you classified it. It wasn't yesterday. Yesterday I was on, baby. It's okay.
Yesterday I was very much on.
Yeah.
I had to go into the city. So we don't live in a city. We live in a small town out in the middle of nowhere. And I had to go into the city, which meant like it's not a big deal because we go into the city on a pretty semi-regular basis as normal. But I had to be on, and I was.
Yeah.
So, good. Yeah, I'm kind of done with it.
Yeah.
I'm done with the brain not being able to hold on to information and the chronic stress.
I guess it's acute turning chronic.
The what?
I said I guess it's really an acute turning chronic.
It feels pretty chronic. Not the good kind either. And
Is chronic a possibility? Like, can we have just like, who do we know within 6 feet?
That can throw us some weed.
Hey, like clearly we need to de-stress people.
There was another funny thing, like the freshman 15.
Oh fuck!
Yeah, we're
not going to talk about that.
I got the Rona 20.
I got the. Are we going to go my Corona?
Where I've definitely put on at least 15, if not more pounds.
I don't think so.
Trust me.
No.
No, trust me.
Well, apparently the only thing I put over my ass is stretchy pants, so I don't know what that means, but it's okay.
We'll get through it, babe.
We will. And honestly, the fact that we get to bitch about putting on weight during this time means we are the lucky ones.
Yes. It does mean we are the lucky ones.
There's my pound of positivity for the day. You're welcome.
Your silver lining. We've been watching everything. Like if it's out there, we've just been watching it. And I'm so done with people. I'm not done with you, people that are doing this. Keep doing it because I guess it's needed. But like, don't spin this in such a way that is like, oh, here's your opportunity. Like the stupid meme where it's like, learn a new language, play an instrument, use your downtime for
I'm doing that.
All of this stuff. I know you are. You're doing a great job.
So
I'm not. I'm eating donuts and watching Netflix.
I'm doing that too.
And that's what I'm doing on a regular basis. But we've been watching everything lately, including, here's a lead-in segue to one of the greatest things.
Can I sing the song?
That has been entered into our lives.
Can I do it?
Please, go ahead.
No, my build-up was too big. I couldn't do it. Go ahead. It was so close.
But I think the pandemic was actually caused by Netflix because they have somehow managed to time everything perfectly, or they've just been holding on to gems and waiting because right at the exact moment when it was needed, they released a new docu-series.
I know what it's called.
What's it called? What's the exact name?
Tiger King.
Is that the name of it?
Tiger King. I'm pretty sure.
The exact name of it is Tiger King?
I'm pretty sure.
I'm going to find it.
See, now I'm second guessing myself. I am sure for about 3 seconds. And then after that, I'm like, well, I'm back to the drawing boards, folks.
Hold on.
Oh, God, I hope it's Tiger King.
Oh, God, I can't even find it.
Joe Exotic.
Okay. You've probably seen something about it already. If you haven't,
no, I know
go to Netflix and just type in Tiger King.
Is it?
Murder, Mayhem, and Madness.
Boom.
It's number 1 in the U.S. today. Shocking. It's been number 1 in the U.S. ever since it fucking came out because people can't stop watching it. But Joe Exotic is the lead in this docuseries. I'm just going to read you.
I'm not cutting my hair. I've had some kinky sex.
Meet Joe Exotic, the gun-toting operator of an Oklahoma big cat park. He's been accused of hiring someone to murder his chief rival, Carol Baskin. So it is just some of the most riveting television that you'll watch right now. And do yourself a favor and go binge it because it's pretty magnificent.
It will hurt your brain. This is probably why we cannot do the math.
Because we got broke watching Joe Exotic.
We got broke watching. Yeah, it will hurt your brain.
There are so many times throughout it where we just like looked at each like what is going on?
Yes.
What I don't understand. Like the one guy that every time he was on camera, they were interviewing him and he was just sitting there with his shirt off the whole
Toothless.
time. Every time. Why? And like the first time I'm like, okay, we get it. He's like, hey, I want to take my shirt off so you can talk to me. Okay, we get that. But then 14 hours later when they're still interviewing him, like put a shirt on.
And that isn't even the like.
I guarantee you that people that made that didn't say, hey, dude, why don't you take your shirt off and go sit over there so we can talk to you?
Did you see the producer the filmer, whatever? What is he called?
We'll call him the producer.
Okay, that dude that was also in the role, the black hat guy.
Oh,
I guarantee.
He had nothing to do with the
He was
Netflix.
filming the reality show.
Yeah, but the reality show, not the Netflix special.
Okay, well, he's been prompting them the whole time. He's been training these people, so he was probably like, you should totally do it with your shirt off.
Yeah.
Because they're weird.
They're not weird, baby. They're
Oh, I'm sorry.
special.
Oh.
They're a special kind of weird that apparently only grows in the southern part of this country.
Okay, careful, Tom Segura. They're going to alienate us, too.
I get what Tommy Boy is saying because it was insane and it just kept getting more and more. It got to the point where it peaked on insanity and now you're just like not watching a train wreck. You're watching, like, it became just the saddest thing ever.
Oh, it was actually. It
These
was
people
really sad.
in
It
their
hooks
lives and it's just a nightmare.
And, yeah. Yeah, you start to feel for all kinds of things, and you're like, "Oh my god, it is sad."
It is sad.
Coffee break.
Coffee break
Tea
Espanol.
time. Did you say Espanol?
Yeah. There was an I think it was actually an old podcast called Coffee Break Espanol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where you'd listen for 15-minute episodes and learn how to speak Spanish.
Really, I should look at that. I've been doing Duolingo. Not so good today, or the last month, but that's okay.
So that's our recommendation for this week is Joe
Okay.
Exotic.
I think our recommendation should be listening to all of the Energy is Love podcasts and know that only sometimes we're dumb.
No,
Did you hear how I said it?
Tiger King's
Only
way better.
sometimes we're dumb. That is all the time dumb. We're only a sometimes dumb.
Oh, God.
Dum da dum dum dum.
I'm just thinking now I'm flashing to all the different things. All the different.
Of Tiger
like,
King?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I think we did that, and I think we can move on.
I don't think so. I'm not
No,
done yet.
you're not done? Okay. I will
if
drink
you-
my coffee.
If you aren't aware, there are more tigers in captivity, living in captivity, than there are in the wild today. And apparently they are all in the southern part of the United States. Because I'm sure somebody in Utah probably has a tiger, but I doubt it.
Well, there's the zoo,
Yeah.
Hogle Zoo, and
Okay.
Lagoon.
Yeah, I'm talking
Big
individual people.
Oh, I'm sorry.
People that are just like,
Mr.
I'm going to
Hogle.
put some tigers in my backyard and then I'm going to build me a zoo. And then 10 years later, they have 200 plus tigers and bears and alligators and chimpanzees and 4 wives and you name it. It's insane.
What did you tell? So we. That was an edit. That was a real time edit.
That was a self-edit.
I about said some things, and then I was like, "Oh, just take a drink of coffee, Steph. Just do that. Coffee is way better than what you were about to say." I don't remember either. So 3-second brain, it's gone.
So yeah, we've been watching everything and enjoying it. And thank you. Like, that's a benefit, I suppose.
It's a benefit.
We can catch up on all the things.
Yep. Mandalorian. We decided to go ahead and splurge on Disney Plus.
Yep, we spent the $6 a month, and now we get Disney Plus, which we've binged.
Yeah.
Ozarks, 3rd season
Just
of Ozarks came out. We're on to that now.
Yeah.
Westworld, 3rd season of Westworld. Yeah, I tend to watch Westworld at 10 o'clock at night, and Stephanie
fall
falls asleep at
asleep.
about 15 minutes in. And
Apparently, this pandemic's turned him into a 20-year-old with endless energy when it comes to TV. It's like 10:30, 10 o'clock. Seriously, that is not a time to start an episode.
do you know why that is? I thought about that. I think that, like, we did that a few weeks ago, or time is irrelevant at this point. I don't know when. I don't even know what today is. But when we did that for the first time, I was like, oh, my brain was running really, really fast. And so I'm like, we'll just put something on. And I knew that we were going to fall asleep, right? And then since then, now that has become like the thing that I'm looking forward to is that moment of 9:30 or 10 o'clock. Like normally, our normal routine back in the post-apocalyptic world that we used to live in, I mean, you and I were asleep by 10 o'clock. We'd go to bed at 9 o'clock. We'd, lay there and talk for a minute, and then kind of both of us would drift off. And so we
Not worrying about if we were going to be able to buy toilet paper.
Yeah, not worrying about anything. And so we used to go to bed pretty early. And now I'm looking forward to that moment where we can watch something at 9:30 or 10 o'clock at night, because it really allows me to just turn everything off in my head so I don't have to listen to anything. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to process anything. I told you last night when we were starting the new series of Ozarks, it's like I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to come up with a, solution for anything. I don't have to plan anything. I can just turn everything off in that moment. And so it's not healthy, I guess. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like we're still getting enough sleep. Right? Maybe.
Our going to bed time is not where we're having issues with sleep. Sorry, in the middle of the night, wake up time in the morning. Oh, that's a fun dream. How is my body clenched up? Like, how am I making a fist and have my head yanked back in sleep? So, yeah, no. Babe, I give a hard time over that. It's because I feel so guilty because I'm doing a lot of crazy things to keep my brain occupied the best I can because I'm in a constant state of panic to where I'm feeling constant adrenaline in my chest, and that's not healthy. But I feel so guilty when I fall asleep, when we get to watch a movie together. And I know that you're putting on movies that you want to watch and you want to watch with me, or series that you want to watch and you want to watch with me. And I know it's going to be just enough to distract my brain that I'm going to fall asleep. And then I'm going to upset you because I'm not able to hang with the big boys. I'm going to fall asleep. And that you're going to be there alone. And then I feel so guilty. So I'm like, why are you starting that? Just because I'm panicked because I know I can't keep up in that moment. And so I just feel so freaking bad.
I don't feel like I'm not upset or angry that you fall asleep. I get it completely.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. It's okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
I'm happy that you fall asleep,
Cool.
that you're able to relax and fall asleep, and
It's like those toddlers that fall asleep standing up, fall asleep like half their body on the couch. It's just go, 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 go.
Yeah.
That's what happens.
That's a good sleep too.
Yeah.
For a minute, right?
For a minute, yeah.
We got to figure something out, babe. We have to come up with a new routine.
I know. Should do some. Yesterday was, I didn't do shit around the house, but I did a few things that, like, I don't know. I want to do things with you because otherwise we're just gonna get under each other's skin. But I don't know how much we can do together. We have to have our own things too. We love each other, but we are not used to having this much time together.
Yeah, we are though.
Are we?
I mean, it's not the first time we've done this.
Yeah. Well, first pandemic. I think the difference is that it's the first time that it feels like our options are kind of taken away. Like, you have to stay here together. Like, wait, what? Because when it's we soak it up, we seize the moment, we drink from that well, we bathe naked in the sun and in the moon. We are a carpe diem when we get to. But when we have to, it's like, it's authority. We're like, fuck you, don't tell me what to do. I don't have to stay here. But I do, because I'm not going out there. I don't know. I don't know. My brain. Whatever.
It's so bizarro. Like, this is the strangest time in the world. One of the things I was going to mention earlier, I don't know if you're having this effect. I believe that you are. We just haven't really talked about it. But I have realized that things that I thought were long dead are coming back. Things that I thought were like, I don't even know, just stuff that I thought was, had been laid to rest is coming back to pop in and say hello. And for example, this past weekend, we started to, this sounds so silly, we started to drink, which we usually don't. Very, 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 very rarely would we drink. And for whatever reason, we started to drink. I ran down to the store and got some beer, and
I said yes.
Yeah, and we enjoyed some beer, which isn't a problem. And then, like, day 3, we were doing it again and again and again. And it's not necessarily a big deal. But I noticed, babe, that the last time that I ran down to the gas station to get beer, on my way back, I was having that same, like, mental conversation in my head of like, oh, you know, it would be really nice just to drink one of these on the way home before I get back to the house.
Ooh.
And a long time ago, years and years and years ago, that is what I used to do. I used to run down to the gas station and grab like a 12-pack of beer and then another like tall, you know, those big tall cans of beer, and finish it on the drive home while I'm driving back to our house. And I had that same
Damn.
like thought process that, you know, the same like do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it, do it, don't do it. In the same game of like justifying it as like, it's okay, it's not okay, it's okay, it's not okay. And then at one point I just kind of like, I didn't do it.
Good.
Yeah, right. I didn't do it. But I just kind of like laughed at myself at one point because it was like, what is happening that is coming back, right? Because that's so long ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like, that's a long time ago. And so that's what I'm talking about, is stuff that is coming back, popping back in to say hello. And I find that kind of fascinating from like a strictly observing it from above, kind of looking at the big picture, but then it's also like scary in the moment.
Yeah, I see it's scary in the moment. I'm glad that you're in an observing state with it. You're like, oh, you're just like observing what your body is doing during this thing that you've never experienced before and watching that. So that's good. So that's actually really good, is that you had awareness of it. You didn't do it. You had awareness of it and you're curious about it. So that to me says, like, I hope you're not beating yourself up because you didn't do it and you observed it and you're curious.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I mean, it sucks, but it's cool that you're witnessing yourself.
Yeah.
So
there was another day where I ran down to the store to get beer and they didn't have the kind that I want.
mm-hmm.
And so then like I'm standing there in the store looking and being like, oh, they don't have the kind that I want. And I'm like, well, get this kind. No, I don't want that kind. I want this kind. And like playing this game, going back and forth. And then finally just being like, it's okay. Like, you don't need it. It's not a big deal. Like, it doesn't matter that they don't have it, right? Because you don't need it.
Yeah.
Because we don't drink,
No.
right? I mean, we just don't anymore. But then I still went to a second store to look for it. So I left that place and I went to the gas station across the street to look for this specific beer. And they didn't have it. So I went through the game again. I was like, oh, it's okay. Just go home. No, like, just go down the street to the next gas station. And like this back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then I was in the car, still stuck trying to decide what I was going to do next, whether I was going to go down to the gas station down the street or whether I was going to go home. And I'm just like, are you fucking serious? Like, this sucks. I remember this game so much. I remember that dynamic of like, this is stupid. Just go home. You don't need beer. And like, because it's the same game of like, do you remember buying smokes? And one place would be out, and you'd be like, it's okay.
Oh,
we don't need smokes.
Now I can relate.
Right? And
That
you'd be
was,
like, oh, you know, the
I
four
never
cigarettes
thought
that I had.
that's okay. We don't need smokes. I'm like, where do I need to drive to Virginia?
Yeah.
That's going to happen. Smokes are going to happen.
But it was that same kind of game of like,
Oh, no.
and then finally I went home. I didn't buy beer that day.
Good.
Maybe I went home for a minute. And
I
then
think that's the day that I went and bought beer.
that is the day that you went. That's
Yeah.
totally the day that you went and bought beer.
I'm like, I know where to go. Okay, we're done. I'm glad we don't have any bear in the house. We're not getting any more. Apparently, we need to stop this shit. I've been joking about it being a problem, but it might actually be a problem.
I don't think it's a problem because
Because
we're not alcoholics, and it wasn't like
apparently 3 more days than we would be. Jesus.
well, that wasn't a problem for us back in the day. And do you know what I mean? I mean, at the time, the alcohol was a problem in my life. It was just a coping mechanism for everything else that was going on. So very clearly, it's a coping mechanism for everything else that's going on now.
I have been enjoying the beer until it fucked up my stomach.
Yeah, I still enjoy it.
You didn't have that lovely belly pain that took me out that said maybe all this yeast that I'm ingesting isn't a good thing. I'm like, maybe we don't need beer.
Yeah, we definitely don't need beer. But it was just so silly and so funny and kind of like from the outside, very, very fascinating for me.
Well, I have two things to say to that if you want to hear them.
Yeah.
Like the first is the positive thing on we're looking for things, TV and all that to occupy our mind, beer, which we are now going to be a dry house. Does that immediately spark fear in you? Are you like, fuck?
No, it doesn't.
I cannot get through this without, like, I'm happy to have marijuana. Like, I'm happy to use that instead of alcohol if somebody wants to bring us some. Because, anyways, I'm just kidding. I was trying to be funny, but instead it's like, no, that sounds really bad. My point, I can stay on track. My point was, yesterday. Yesterday was a me day. I spent a lot of time practicing the music instrument that you were making fun of. And
to be fair, you were you started learning guitar before the apocalypse.
I did start learning before the apocalypse. Yeah. Anyways, every time I was focusing and doing an online lesson or just playing with chords, just doing my own thing, when I'm focusing on what I'm doing there, my brain isn't anywhere else. And I like that because luckily I'm quite the novice, so it takes all my brain power on what I'm doing there. But also with yoga, when I was doing that, which I think that's probably why my neck hurts, because I like to push it a little harder because I know what I'm capable of when I do it more, and I am not there. I am so not there, and I'm like, yes, I am. I can make my body bend. Anyways, my brain can't think of anything else when I'm doing that. I'm focused on that. I'm focused on my body. I'm focused on where I want it to be. I'm trying to remember to breathe. I'm really happy that sometimes the online people say breathe. I'm like, thank you. I forgot. And so that's a helpful distraction. So maybe we can look at things like that. I think that was my original point of doing things together, and we still need stuff alone.
You said you had two things?
I do. I have two things. The second one is you're talking about old things from the past coming up like that. That is so true. And I told you a little bit this morning, and I didn't tell you what it was, and I'm not going to tell you what it was. Or at least I'm not going to tell the podcast what it was. I don't know what I'm going to fucking do with this shit. But last night in my nightmarish twisting and turning and waking up with my neck it was like my whole body was just in this weird, like I would keep waking up and just like seized up. You know, I had all my muscles contracted, my neck impact. It was weird, but it did something, and I had something from the past that had been buried so deep, I didn't remember it. I had no memory of it. And then it came up this morning, and I'm like, oh. So things coming up from the past, it's also revealing past traumas that I somehow buried so deep that I didn't even have a hint of it. I was not aware. And then it popped back up. I'm like, oh yeah. Like I remember that, but I can still only remember, I can just remember like the fucked up, you know, there's still so much blackness with it. But so I had a trauma resurface. That's how much past shit's coming up with this. So try not to go buy a lot of beer. I know how to make this go away.
Yeah, there's got to be some like chemical neurological thing about what is, you know, it's almost like we're tapping back into neural pathways that are old, like dried up old riverbeds that were no longer being used, and we had created new neural pathways, and now we're flooding the system, and so all the neural pathways are getting flooded with shit. And that's why it's like, you know, a dry riverbed that's full of tumbleweeds and stuff. But now all those tumbleweeds are getting flushed down the drain and coming in through the aqueduct into our brains because that's totally what it is. Yeah. I don't know if what I just said made any sense at all.
It does, actually.
You should have seen the visuals in my head. It made perfect sense.
I think I was seeing them in mine. No, it does make sense because, like, it makes total sense because, like, I'm not friends with this person on Facebook or anywhere in my life at all. But occasionally this person will pop up, like, someone you should know, because I do have friends from my past life that I am, still acquaintance to on Facebook, and their friends. So occasionally, but it's never even like, it didn't even spark. I was just like, ugh, but it didn't even spark. Like, oh, there's that memory I'm not trying to think about. Oh, here's that thing I did not remember. It was that deep. So yeah, I need a shovel. I need to pack those aqueducts back full. Yep. Apparently we watched too much Tiger King. I no longer.
I wish we had a tiger in the backyard we could go play with right now. That'd be awesome. Apparently you can only play with them up until they're like 6 weeks old. Or what is it, 6 weeks, 10 weeks? 12 weeks,
I don't remember
maybe.
what it was.
There comes a point where they eat your face. And so you can't play with them anymore after that. But somehow they still do.
Oh, God, no. Now, something I remember in the gas chamber. They are doing some bad things. There are some bad people out there. There's part of me that kind of gets the Carol. I'm like, go get him. But don't feed your husband.
She's crazy, too.
She's crazy. I know. That's
okay,
right.
We're giving away too much. Go watch The Tiger King. I totally think that's what it is in regards to our like neural pathways. So all the things that we have worked on in the last several years have redirected the flow of just chemical dumps of things through our body, right?
Yeah.
And now we have been flooded with anxiety and stress and fear and chaos and everything on such a constant basis that it is channeling down all those old pathways and all those old neural networks.
Yeah.
And that's why it's bringing up all this old stuff for us to once again face and deal and experience and process. And the timing is perfect because we don't have anything to do. We don't have anything else to process or deal with. So I'm very grateful.
We could do it.
Yeah,
But-
we got the time.
Yeah. And we could even be an asset to each other, except for we both have a little bit of an attitude.
I know, we're both so grumpy.
It's more you.
It is more me.
It's not. I was just saying that as a like it's me. Like the
I
thing I
know,
got
Steph.
Oh,
That was me.
fucker. You know what? It is more you. You just don't even talk to me. I about threw a metal bottle at you, so it might be more me.
You're right, baby. It is more me.
You know
I'm
what?
an
You're a
ass.
shit. Okay. You're a shit. So I've got something on my list I'm going to talk about while you're a shit. This is going to shed some light on some things.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Are you ready?
I am.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Dreams.
That was the other thing I was going to talk about.
Are you going to talk about it?
Yeah.
Should I let you get your take out first?
No.
No, let's get your take out
You go
first.
first.
No, because then
Please.
it proves my point.
No, please.
When you talk, you prove my point. So go ahead.
I could say anything and you'd be like, exactly. That's my point. You're proving my point. I'd be like, what are we even talking about? And you're like, I don't know, but that's my point.
Is that what you think?
Go ahead. What about dreams?
Don't make me kick my head. Well, go ahead and tell Tom Segura's like
Tommy? What Tom Segura? What about?
he talked about it on the comedy special. And you're like, ha ha ha, that's real. And I'm like, this is why it's real, motherfucker.
Oh, yeah. That's I forgot about that.
Yeah. How did you? What did you think we were talking about right there?
I had a completely different thought about dreams.
Okay. Do you want to tell yours? Because now
everybody is lost. Not just us, but the
we
people
are
listening.
lost too. Where are we going on this Craig train?
So one of the other things that Netflix did, unbeknownst to all of us, besides give us the coronavirus, they held on to comedy specials that they could release at this exact moment.
Yes.
The timing of was perfect. Bert Kreischer has a new one called Birdie Boy
I don't know.
something.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, just not Google, but go to Netflix and search out Bert. And then Tom Segura.
Segura? I'm saying Segura.
Segura.
I don't care.
His also came out this week. 2 pretty good comedy specials if you're a fan of comedy. Anyways.
If you like to laugh, this is for you. This is not a paid advertisement.
Yeah. So spaced in my head. What are we talking
3-second rule right there.
about? Dreams.
Yes.
So my thing that I was going to talk about in regards to dreams
I'm loving this.
was, I think, because I am dreaming every night, and they're pretty vivid, and they're pretty constant, and that is
Same.
not normal, right? Normally I would have dreams every so often, on a pretty semi-regular basis, but not every night. And every night I feel like it's a whole new movie. It's a whole new, like, 3-hour long event of whatever's going on in this dream. And that's happening like every night.
You're having some pretty shitty ones too.
Yes. Yeah. Having some pretty shitty dreams. I think that there's something going on about that. Like, I think that there's something about dreams and out in the universe and the ethos, because I don't think you and I are alone. I think that if we were to poll people, they would also be having some intense dreams. So what is going on? Is it some sort of universal flow of energy that is giving people dreams? Or is there some other aspect of chronic stress? And I kind of think what it is our brains are using that moment to dump the chemicals that they can't when we're awake. So if we look at our brain as some separate part of us that's up there just trying to keep everything flowing and keep everything like functioning, they are being like bombarded with bullshit, right? Like all the chemicals, all the dopamine, all the stuff that is just flowing into our brains and into our bodies. Our brain is trying to continually process all of it. And at night, it still is working like overtime to process through all of it. And that's why we're dreaming more. There's no science behind that, folks. That is strictly...
That is obvious.
That did not need to be clarified, Craig. That was obvious to everybody listening. Why do you think we're dreaming more?
Honestly, that makes sense. That makes sense because your body has... It's like... It made me think about... how an animal shakes off its fear. We're not getting time to do that. So at night, we're still trying to do that. And like my dreams are horrific. There's very little good ones. I'm not like, they are gruesome and vivid and terrifying. And either I'm witnessing horrific things or I'm experiencing, like, it is just fucked up. So your body trying to get rid of that makes sense. And I'm like, oh, well, no wonder I'm waking up with my fist clenched and my body just like in such a contraction. I am physically responding. Let's hope I don't start punching you. Physically responding to the dreams. So like, what are we going to do with all this? That makes sense. So even though there's no science backing it, I'm like, you might be onto something. I'm going to start calling you Mr. Scientist.
I also like the idea that somehow, I mean, it would be one thing if we're having beautiful dreams, right? Like,
I had one good one.
Have you had one good one?
One good one. We'll get into that later.
I met Dan Levy in my dream last night.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
That's a good one.
We're ginormous fans of Dan Levy because he's plays David on Schitt's Creek. And by the way,
David.
Netflix, hurry up and roll out the 6th season
Jesus
of Schitt's
Christ,
Creek for us.
Yes. Like, where are you on that one?
Yeah. But yeah, I met Dan in my dream last night, and it was okay. It wasn't as great as I would hope, right? Like,
Did he let you down in your dream?
Well, he was very, like, polite, and he basically, like, set his boundaries very clearly.
Well, that was just rude. Was it a dream, or did you just go meet him? Sorry. Could have used your words.
But, yeah, it was interesting. But no, I'm not having beautiful, vivid, like, traveling, amazing... What's the word I'm looking for when you have...
Happy? Lucid?
Lucid. Yeah, lucid dreams. They're not lucid-y, wonderful dreams. They're kind of really... Don't look at me like you're giving me the...
I'm looking at the microphone.
You're an idiot.
I am not. 3-second rule.
As things go on...
That's going to be our thing.
It's apparent that brains don't work, jackass.
3-second rule.
So... Yeah, I think I like your analogy of we're not getting a chance to shake off everything. And so our
brains... You
brains...
brought that forth.
Yeah, but I like the way that you described it better than my blustery...
What can I say?
Tumbly.
That's my lady brain. I can still make you laugh, even in this.
You do make me laugh
that
all the
makes
time.
Me happy. It's not always at me either. Sometimes I just tickle your...
My pickle. You're such a dork.
I know.
So in Tom Segura's special, We're going to ruin one of his jokes.
Are we?
Yeah, so then that way we can, or do you not want to? Do you not want to talk about that now? Because it's pretty funny.
I brought it up.
Let's hear it. Hear your take on dreams, babe. Do it.
Okay, you're making my brain hurt.
Sorry.
It's okay.
See?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to set this up properly. Because the point of it is you need to get the man's perspective, and then the woman will come in and tell you what's real. So we started off with his joke and your experience. So we have to hear your perspective.
Okay, so every now and then, it doesn't happen on a regular basis, but every now and then, Stephanie will wake up and our morning / all day long will be her upset and angry with me because of something that I did in her dream.
Keep going.
And it's in any number of things, I think, sometimes. Sometimes I learn about them because she'll tell me. Sometimes I don't. So I'm just left up to my imagination to create what I've done in the dream that I am now in trouble for. But, I mean, it's, you name it, and I'm sure I've done it in her dream.
Oh, look at that.
At
There's
some
a little
point.
animosity in there. Keep going.
And so she wakes up and proceeds to inform me that I am basically fucked for the rest of the day because of something that's taken place in her dream. My response varies depending upon the day. There's days where I'm very compassionate and I'm trying to, oh, I'm so sorry, sweetheart, for the thing that I did in your dream. And then there's days where I'm busy and I'm distracted, and I'm also
You're also what?
just busy and distracted.
Yeah.
And
I said it.
I will say, oh yeah, like I'll just move on because there's nothing that I can do to make
move on
up
with an attitude
for the experience in the dream. So that doesn't happen all the time, but that probably happens once a month, we'll say.
That's bullshit.
Oh, you're right. Probably 3 to 4 times a month.
Motherfucker.
And so it's kind of funny.
That is not true.
You're right. It's not very
Oh my
funny when it
God.
happens.
You're such a shit. Keep going,
So then
Craig.
we're watching Segura, and he's got a joke of the exact same thing, of literally the exact same thing, and it's pretty funny.
Yeah. What is his demeanor? He talks about it, and then he's like, "Oh, not touching that," and so he's rude.
He's rude.
He's rude after have a dream.
Yes.
Okay, now it's my turn.
Yeah. Let's hear it.
My turn.
Let's hear your take,
so,
baby.
I had one good dream in this shitastic fuckness that we're living in,
Mm-hmm.
and you were really sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I told you about it. How did you react after? I told you about this wonderful dream and how sweet you were. How did you treat me after I told you about that dream? How'd you react?
I
Tell
don't
me.
remember.
Oh, yeah?
Tell the people. How
You
did
were
I
so
act?
nice. You were like, oh, you're all proud of yourself and your actions that you took in my dream, because then they're acceptable. You're all proud of yourself. You're giving me hugs and smiling. And you're like, yeah, that's the kind of man I am. You're all happy about it. So you're happy to ride those waves when I have a good dream about you. Then it's, that's a fun place for you to be. It's not that you do something, men out there. We're not mad at you for what you did in the dreams, but when you motherfucker.
I'm trying to not have any facial expressions,
Okay.
and I'm failing miserably.
So I'm also we got a lot of things going on right now, so I'm a little upset. It's okay. It'll be fine. It'll work. It'll calm down. Craig is not in danger. Do not send reinforcements. I need time to come up with a story. Okay. So
it's not that you're mad at us for what we did in the dream.
But thank you for getting me back on track. My 3-second brain, I'm like, I'm pissed, but where was I? Fuck, I think I did it again. We're not mad at you for that. But when you have a dream, it affects you. You feel it. Even if it's nothing to do, it can be so crazy that you're just feeling it. But we have the dreams that everybody wakes up that needs to shake a dream. And that just happens. That just happens to everybody. So when you tell somebody about it or you don't, however, when I tell you about the dreams or just saying I had a bad dream, you were mean to me in my dream, whatever, and then you in turn are a freaking jerk and you don't want to look at me, or you walk away, you're like, ugh, and you just fucking get up and move. And then you give me attitude, that plays off of the dream. So it's not the dream, it's how you behave after. Because when you're like, oh, baby, and you give me a hug, everything's gone. Because I know it's a dream. I know it's a dream. I'm not mad at you for the dream. I don't get mad at you for dreams that you have. You can wake up and tell me that you boinked somebody, and it's fine. It's all fine. You can
I don't think I've boinked anybody since 1990.
So here's the point, is that I don't get mad at actions for dreams. I recognize there are dreams. I get mad at actions when you are awake. So men.
It's not true.
That's not. Yes, it is true. I'm still talking.
Go ahead.
See, awake pissed me off. Men, if your partner of any whatever is lying next to you and they wake up and have a bad dream about you, be kind to them. Be kind, be nice, be loving, give them their moments, and then everything's fine, and then all of this goes away. But when you're a jerk, when they're already emotional, like, come on. I'm a little emotional right now.
I think that's great advice.
It is great advice. You should take it.
I'm going to give women out there some advice.
Well, let's hear
and
this.
This one isn't for, I guess we could just say people, right? If your partner wakes up and, no, wait. If you have a dream about your partner and you wake up and it was a bad dream and it really jacked you up, what I would encourage you to do is, if you feel the need to express that to your partner,
if you feel the need, this is going good.
Start off by saying,
what?
Hey, I know that this was a dream. I know that you didn't do anything wrong. I know that there isn't something that you need to fix in this moment. I just simply want to express this to you. If you could just take a moment and listen to me, maybe give me a hug, and remind me that you love me and that everything's okay. If you start off with that, wonderful. I can guarantee you that probably 99% of the time your partner is going to give you exactly that. If you start off with some other things.
What? Like what? What do I start off with compassion. I start off with sadness and wanting a hug and tell you I had a bad dream.
No, you don't.
So, yes,
you
I do.
Sometimes.
Yes,
you
I do.
Sometimes.
And
sometimes
I love that this
awake.
man
like, I'm
is over
already
here. He's
up.
like, you need to make us feel better for our bad actions.
That's
what
definitely
you're
not
saying.
what this man said. But sometimes I'm awake already, and you'll come out of the room and you like give me this look.
Because you're not next to me to make it better. You've already left. That's your problem. Yeah, you're fucked. I'm sorry. It is kind of.
Yeah. So it was funny. Watch Tom Segura's Netflix special.
You laughed.
I laughed hard.
Okay, all you need to do is make it. You just need to be nice.
Yes, that
That's
works
it.
today.
That is.
Let's see what tomorrow brings.
You're such an.
This is the appropriate response for this situation.
Oh my
meaning
God.
this one right now.
It doesn't change that.
Tomorrow it'll be something different. I'm just glad that I'm in your dreams, babe. That's cool, right? That's a good thing.
You're just trying to come in and say something sweet after that totally assholian thing you just said.
I know. Assholian. You got anything else on your list, baby?
Oh, I want you to take a wild guess. So when I got all this sass and all this
here's another
attitude,
fun one that's
yeah?
just going to keep going.
Oh, good.
And keep feeding this thing.
All right,
so
let's do
Craig
it.
can have a wonderful day. Do you remember in the shower?
I don't think I've ever called you motherfucker this much, ever. Like, you are in trouble.
In the shower the other day, we had a conversation regarding things that women think are important that men don't. And you're like, no. Do you want to go there?
I don't remember that conversation.
Okay. So the conversation I expressed to Stephanie,
I was paying attention.
that there's a lot of things that women do in regards to their personal self-care
Oh, you're talking
of
about
their bodies.
Oh, okay.
And they do it, I think women do it thinking that
It's talking about shaving.
they need to do
Things.
it for men in order to be attractive and in order to entice and in order to be found
I can't
attractive.
believe you're going from dreams to body hair. Like, that is a leap. You say women are like scatterbrain bullshit.
So the conversation was, I told her, I'm like, I literally don't care. I don't care. I think you think that I care and that you need to shave parts of your body so that I'm still attracted to you. And you could literally stop shaving everything today, and I would still be just as attracted to you. And I told her that women think that they do this for men, but they really do it for other women. And it's not in that sense of like, but like there's a whole bunch of stuff that women only do because they think that they need to for men, but they're not, like, men don't care. Like if you pull,
That's not true.
I guarantee that's true. I guarantee it's true. You could ask 100 men.
Okay, I would like to ask 100 men because I'm pretty sure that just saying body hair on a woman, that all your men listeners just went, ugh.
No, I'm talking about real adult men. I'm talking about like actual men, not children that pretend to be men. Or
we just alienated some people.
Or the guy, you know, go back to the beginning of the episode, the situation, right? that guy's an idiot, right? I'm not talking about idiots.
I didn't watch the show. I can't really speak to
I'm talking
that.
about real men that are like adults, and like, do you care if your partner shaves their armpits?
Okay, and what do they say to their partner, which is no, and what do they say to other men or to themselves in their head, which is, ooh. They absolutely care.
Are you privy to those conversations that I have in my head?
I hear them with my lady ears.
Are you privy to the conversations that I've had with men?
I watch them in my dreams.
It's very true. It's very true. So this one I would love some feedback on. I would love some men to weigh in on if they give two shits about body hair of any form or fashion on a woman in any part of their body, going from their head down to their toes. So every part of your body that has hair. I don't care if you pluck your eyebrows. That one is strictly has nothing to do with men. Like,
that's not true.
I guarantee it's true.
No, because men, like, okay, I'm curious.
I don't look at women's eyebrows, babe.
Yes, you do, because you point them out to me sometimes.
Because you are obsessed with them.
Well,
women are
my
obsessed with eyebrows.
I want help with my brows.
I don't give two shits about eyebrows. I don't look at a woman and think, oh my God, she's got some eyebrows on that girl. Exactly. Women do. Men don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't. Trust me.
It factors in. You know what?
And I'm not just talking about eyebrows
I
either.
have heard, I'm gonna throw a little example out there, but I'm gonna be cautious about it. I have been privy to conversations that you have had with a group of guys about a girl that we both know and her eyebrows. And thought she was pretty with it, and then saw her without and was like, ugh, you guys were all slamming on her without her makeup. And I'm sitting over there like...
Are you talking about that one woman that looks like a completely different person without makeup? If I think it's the one you're talking... No, the one person that like looks
she's a shapeshifter.
A bizarro vampire.
She's a shapeshifter.
And then she paints herself to look normal so that she can come out into public, right?
Okay, that's me.
Yeah, if that's the woman you're talking about.
But yes, it is the woman I'm talking about.
That's definitely different. That's so different.
Why is that different?
Because she's a fucking weird vampire zombie person that has to paint herself normal so that she can come out into public and feed on people. That's way different.
See, women, we have nothing to worry about.
I'm talking about...
To your fucking eyebrows, they think you're vampires if you don't. God.
No, if we were to poll 100 men, I would love 100 men listening to write in, go to the website and send us a message about whether you care not just about eyebrows, but of hair on a woman's body anywhere.
Including your chachi.
Yes. Pitch, chotch, legs, eyebrows, upper lips,
all of that.
Whatever.
You care. You so care.
I don't care in the slightest.
This is how confident I am that you care, is that in the event, like, oh my gosh, I don't think... Oh God, this sucks. This makes my belly hurt. I lost my train of thought. I don't think if you get I think if you get people saying like, no, that's gross. Women are supposed to be smooth. Like there's, oh God, it's so gross. It's so gross. Like,
where are you going, babe?
I'm having a hard time with my words because I'm uncomfortable. I don't like that men have decided that women are attractive when they look prepubescent. Like, what the fuck? That's weird, right? But it's been so ingrained that we're taught, like, we start to look at ourselves that way, like, oh, I'm ugly with this, so I have to like get rid of it. And anyways, it feels bad. it really feels bad on so many different levels. So much so I don't know that if you get negative responses and like, no, she should shave, she should wax. And by the way, it should always be done. And I should never know that she does any of these things. It's like we have to keep it all a secret too. Like, no, I don't grow body hair. Not me. You know, like, it has to be a secret. Like you catch any kind of removal and it is like a deer in the headlights. You know, it's like, oh my God, now I'm hideous. I must hide. You know, it's so embarrassing.
Yeah, this is all stuff that women have created.
I don't think so. Because
this is all stuff that women are doing because they think they have to. When if you were to ask men would be like, no, I don't care.
They do.
I guarantee.
If I stopped everything.
How many times have I encouraged you to stop everything?
But then I'm pretty sure that I would also be ex Craig Salazar's wife. I don't know what to say. I think you would stop being.
Yeah.
I do. I think you
wouldn't.
would. I think you would stop, or you would.
That's the argument right there.
Seeking out shiny dolphins after that.
See, that's the argument right there.
So I don't think that if you get, I keep trying to say this, if negative responses come in, which I don't think you'll share them with me. And I don't see those. You're going to be like, nope, not going to tell her that one. Nope, not going to tell her that one. Nope, not
for
going to tell her
starters,
that
nobody
one.
reaches out to the podcast.
Yeah.
Every pandemic that we have, we get one response. But this would be really interesting.
Yeah.
Of whether or not you think it's an issue. Like if men think that, I honestly think the majority of men out there are completely indifferent, where they have the stance of like, do whatever you want, because it's not going to change how I feel about you. It's not going to change my attraction level to you. It's not going to change anything. Do what you want.
I have a hard time believing that.
Shave it, wax it, trim it. I don't care. Or let it go.
All of my options were hair removal. Shave it, wax it, trim it. Those were all my. You're like, I don't care how you get rid of the shit. Just get rid of the shit.
Or let it all go.
Yeah.
Throw all your shaving, waxing, trimming equipment in the garbage.
Yeah,
and
not
be
going
done
to
with
do
it.
that.
Be done with it.
I can't.
Just be done with
I
it.
Can't.
Just see what happens.
I can't. So what do women think too?
Yeah, that would be
That
interesting
would be nice.
too.
Like, how do you feel? What kind of pressure do you feel with this?
What kind of pressure do you place upon
also,
yourself?
There is no. I don't want to hear, like, for the women that don't shave anything, and that, like, everything they have all their body hair. If you were going to be encouraging, then please. But like, I get so. Don't make a woman feel like she's less of a woman because she's not letting it all go, and make her feel bad for it. Like, we feel bad enough that we're trying to like take all that shit off of us. Like, don't make me feel like less of a person because I'm not woman enough. I'm not a good enough feminist to not do that. Like, don't be rude. Save that for the men. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I was douchey. Yeah, just like, let's keep it with honest opinions and preferences and not. Fuck, I'm scared. I am so afraid I'm going to be attacked for this.
Nobody's attacking you,
You're like,
baby.
all the men will be like, you ugly herb.
No, nobody's attacking
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
Okay.
We'll create a poll.
We'll create a poll?
Yeah, we'll create a poll. We won't create a poll. Just reach out.
You can do it on Facebook.
Yeah, shoot us a message through the website or on Instagram or Facebook or whatever. But what's your opinion in regards to body hair on both men and women?
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people that have opinions. You know, there's lots of men that take time to pluck their eyebrows and get their eyebrows waxed and shave their legs and all sorts of different things as well. So my stance is just be the way that you are regardless. Let it all grow. And if you choose to, great, that's up to you. But I am indifferent. I do not have an opinion. I love the woman that I am with, however she chooses to make herself up. Let's go to the store now, babe, and get some beer and donuts.
No.
But I love you. Tune in next week to see how we have survived another week of Bizarro World. I was thinking about that.
Is she hairy? Is she not?
You should let it all go. Let it all go.
They already know. Like, I talked about gluing my butt cheeks together. So
Yeah, that was so funny.
That was
a good story.
That was painful. That was funny.
I love you.
I love you. We're like, fuck you, don't tell me what to do. I don't have to stay here. But I do, because I'm not going out there.
things that I thought were long dead are coming back.
An adjustment period.
Right?
Oh, I like that.
I got the Rona 20.
Where'd our brains go?
Yeah.
Where'd they go?